We're looking at a big spike in the VIX, aren't we? Above 75 right now, Edmund. Is that something that still gives you great clues as to where we head next?
Well, the interesting thing, funnily enough, about the VIX is that, I mean, what I like to look at is the term structure of the VIX. So looking at the futures of the VIX, let's say comparing 1 month month forward against 4 months. So the idea is, you know, when you see backwardation of the order that we see now, which is really quite extreme, that is the front month being much higher at a much higher level than the 4th month out. That tells you that we're in an extreme level of market dislocation. But actually, we have already peaked in terms of the spread, and the spread is actually reducing. So what that tells me is that between 1 to 6 months out from here, equity markets could well be substantially higher than they are today. Now, that doesn't mean that we've seen the bottom already. We may well see a bottom ahead of us, but it does suggest that we are in the process of forming a market bottom in equities, albeit in a very volatile fashion. I think we are we are bouncing between finding new lows, but then trying to rally off those lows, and there is that sort of back and fro pattern. And I think that is the process of finding a bottom, which suggests to me in a few months' time, we could be looking at equity markets being substantially higher than they are today. And this is the sort of pattern we've seen in previous crises, such as 2002 and 2008.
Right. Of course, this is different because you've got the health care component here, Edmund. Can we hit a bottom if we get enough stimulus, or if we get a coordinated enough response, or do we need to actually see the number of cases new cases start to fall rather than continuing to rise in the U.S., for example?
Oh, no, absolutely. In Europe and the U.S., we absolutely need to see the rate of infection growth slow, because what we need to see is that the rate of hospitalization can be contained, number one. The number of serious cases can be contained. And what we need to see, clearly, is on the horizon an end to the current very severe lockdown lockdown conditions that we're under, for instance, in countries such as France. Because clearly, for the economy to restart, people need to be able to go about their daily business. And at the moment, this is simply not possible. And this will not be possible until the infection rate slows down. As, for instance, we see in China, where they are reporting basically no new cases, and the economy is restarting. And it's not got back to the rhythm that it was at before the virus, but there's at least restarting and starting to reclaim that lost growth once again. And I think that's what we need to see on the horizon before you can see any sort of durable rally in risk assets.